Hi, my name is Paige. Welcome to my channel. 3 weeks ago, I turned 30, and for my 30th birthday, I asked to go to New York City so that we could go to all of the cute bookstores there, because Arizona doesn't have the cutest bookstores. We just have a handful of okay ones, but we ended up going to 11 bookstores while we were there, and I came home with 20 very heavy books. And I'm here to tell you about them, as well as a few of the books that my friends got me for my birthday, as well as the books that I bought myself for my birthday with gift cards that I got for my birthday. So this is a birthday book haul, New York City book haul. I will probably insert a few b-roll clips of the different bookstores that we did go to, but my next video should be my b-roll vlog, because I didn't really do a lot of vlogging. I just did a lot of sightseeing and filming that, so that should be my next video once I get around to editing that, because it is hours of footage, so we're gonna have to figure that one out. But let's jump right into the book haul, because that is what you are here for, right? We started off very strong, going to the Ripped Bodice, which is the one that I wanted to go to so badly. I was so excited, and it did not let me down. I even got to meet Catherine Zofrey there and give her a big hug, and it was so much fun to go into the store, the pink face of it, the just environment inside of it. So much fun. I spent so much money there. I think I spent the most amount of money there from all of the bookstores that I went to, but it was my birthday. We started off very strong with this one, and I walked away with 3 books. One of them I did give to my aunt though, because I saw that somebody had sent it to me for my birthday. So I will just talk about the 2 that I got, which were Goodbye Paradise by Sabrina Bowen and Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. I have read both of these, and that was something I tried to do for this trip, was to get books that I read through Kindle Unlimited or through Libby and such that I don't have on my shelf that I really want to, so that I could go back and reread them sometime, because I really loved this series. I've read it twice, maybe 3 times, and I really enjoyed this book, and I am excited for book 2. So really the first bookstore was a big win. It was so much fun, so cute. Oh, I just absolutely loved it. That was the only bookstore I had planned to go into on my birthday, because we had other dinner plans and whatnot, but as we were walking around it started to rain, and we ended up going into kind of like a mall, and they had a bookstore within there too, and they were used books. So I ended up getting Us by Sabrina Bowen and Elle Kennedy. This is another series that I've already read, and I own the first one, and I was looking out for this one everywhere. It was on my list of books that I wanted to buy, so now I have both of the books in this little duology. I love them. They're a little hockey romance. And I also picked up A Far Wilder Magic, which is another book that I have already read. This was for a book club a couple of months ago, and I just really liked it so much. I love these characters. I loved the atmosphere of this book a lot too, so I was really excited to see both of these, and they were both used. So this one was $7, this was $6. I just couldn't pass it up at all. So this one was McNally Jackson, I believe was the name of the bookstore, and it was pretty cute. It had like this 2-story really pretty wood staircase. I loved it, so I was really glad that we just stumbled upon that one. The next day we started off at the Drama Bookshop, which is owned by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and it is all just plays and musicals and such, and so I wasn't sure what I was gonna get. I considered getting something like Hamilton related, but I ended up seeing this Sense and Sensibility play, and since I really love Sense and Sensibility, I thought this would just be a cute little memento to get from there, and I just really liked it. The people at the front counter were literally so funny, so nice. My mom was filming me as I walked in, and she panned away from them right as they went to wave, and they were like, no, you have to do that all over again. So I walked back outside and filmed it again so that they could wave at the camera. So they were just such funny people. I really liked it. So I ended up getting this from there and a couple stickers and whatnot too, but it was so fun. It was just so cool. All of the books lit up, or the bookshelves lit up as you walked by them too, which was extra fancy, but it was a really cute place. I just like seeing all of the plays and musicals and such everywhere. It was a vibe. I liked it a lot, and they had this cool book art too. I just wish that Arizona had such cute places like this. But moving on. So we actually didn't end up going to any more bookstores that day because we were doing a lot of sightseeing, but the next day we started off at the Albertine, which is a French and English bookstore, and they have this really beautiful mural on the ceiling, and I think it's inspired by The Little Prince, and I was trying to find a copy of that, but they only had one in French, so I decided not to get that because I don't speak French, and I ended up grabbing A Winter's Promise by Christelle Davos. I am probably butchering that, but I have not read this series, and I've heard very good things about it. It's kind of always been on my radar, but I haven't picked it up because I know that there's at least 4 books in the series, and I wasn't sure if I ever wanted to commit to a 4-book series yet, so I just decided that I would give it a shot because this is a French author, and it might have even been written originally in French, so it felt like it felt right to get at this bookstore, and it was just such a pretty bookstore, but they didn't have a bathroom, and that's why we didn't linger there very long, because I had to pee so bad. So we did have to like leave and go over to Central Park, and we spent some time there. And I don't think that we went to any other bookstores that day either, because we were doing a lot of touristy things, and I was a little too tired to wander around and try and find some extra bookstores. So I think we all kind of were just like, okay, no, just one bookstore is good for these couple of days. And then we started to ramp it up a little bit more. The next day we started off at Book Club Bar, which is a bar and a coffee bar and a bookstore as well. And it was so cute. I could have spent hours there, but we did have other bookstores that we wanted to see. But at Book Club Bar, I ended up getting Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, which is one that I recently read and absolutely loved. I've been really wanting to buy it, but I knew I was going on this trip, so I was waiting to buy it somewhere, and I kept seeing it at a lot of stores, but ended up picking it up at this one. And then I really wanted to get 2 books there because I really liked this bookstore, so I ended up looking around and found S.T. Gibson's Evocation. I've only ever read this word. Evocation. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it sounds like it is a queer, witchy romance, fantasy, romantasy, might you? So I'm excited to read this because I loved A Dowry of Blood. I'm supposed to be reading An Education in Malice 2 months ago for my book club, and I haven't yet, but I know I like S.T. Gibson's work. So I was excited to see this. I hadn't heard a single thing about it. It was just like a nice little find. And I was trying to get a couple of books that I hadn't heard about, but just authors that I knew and trusted. But that's all that I got there. And our next bookstore was one I was so excited about, which was Sweet Pickle Books. I'd heard every single TikTok that I watched, every single Instagram reel that I watched about New York City book clubs recommend this one, because it is a pickle themed bookstore. And I just went in knowing that I wanted the hat. That's all. I didn't care if I got a book there, and I did get the hat. It's a green little hat that just says Sweet Pickle Books. It's so cute. I love it. But this was the bookstore that I actually had the hardest time trying to figure out what to buy. It was all used books, and I just was being stubborn and wanting to hold on to getting books by authors I recognize or books that I had already read. But I ended up getting 2 books that I have not read. One is a series that I already read the first book for and have been considering reading book 2, and that is Hannah Witton's For the Throne, which is the sequel to For the Wolf. And I really enjoyed that book. I thought it was really good, and I've been considering carrying on. Oh, I got stickers. I forgot those were in there. Here's these. But as I was saying, I've been considering carrying on with the sequel. I've just been having a hard time committing to series right now. I've been reading the first books and then just ignoring everything else. So I decided to grab this one because it was there. And then I was looking and looking and looking and looking and not finding anything that I was really drawn to. And I ended up in the romance section and saw this one called Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt. I have never heard of it. I've never heard of this author, but the back of it sounded pretty cute. So I decided that a romance can never really do any wrong. They're always quick and easy to read. So I grabbed this one there too, as well as the stickers and the hat. I totally forgot I grabbed these. I thought I had my whole stack of stickers over there. But as we were talking to the person at the front counter, they recommended going over to Blue Stockings and said that it was a lesbian-owned bookstore. And so we were like, okay, let's give that one a go. And we ended up really liking just the environment that was being created at this store. They were very welcoming to everybody, and they were also offering snacks and water to anybody who came in off the streets and just needed a little bit of extra care. And their bathroom had a message for anybody going through a transition that it was a safe place for them to use any of their medication and shots and stuff that they had to do and dispose of them safely within their bathrooms. So it was just very welcoming and just seemed like a pivotal spot for many people to go into. It just was really heartwarming. So we really ended up loving that we got that recommendation and going there. And this was another one that I was just unsure of what I wanted to get. I was going through so many different books, and then I saw this one that was recently on TikTok called Blood Orange by Karina Halley. I've read another book by her and I thought it was okay, but I just got caught up in the moment and grabbed this one because I had literally just seen a reel or TikTok or whatever based on this one, and somebody said it was very good. So it was kind of a spur of the moment decision to get this, but I think I'm excited. If you've heard anything about this book, let me know if it's good or if it's something I should just pass along. So the next day was 4th of July and we started off in Chelsea Market and we found out that they had a bookstore within there. So we stopped on in and it was really, really cute, a lot of books. And I ended up finding 2 Taylor Jenkins Reads books because I'm trying to read more of her back catalog because I really enjoyed Maybe in Another Life. Like, it is one of my all-time favorite books. And so I wanted to read other of her books that aren't within the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo universe, and I have no idea if these are any good. I've never heard anyone talk about them, but I got After I Do and Forever Interrupted. This one looks like it's gonna make me cry all the time, so this might take me a little while to get to, but I'm really excited to read both of them. I'm really trying to get my mom to want to read more of this author because she loved 7 Husbands, and I believe she read Maybe in Another Life. She said she gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, but she has no recollection of what that book is about. So hopefully I love these and can pass these along to her so that she can start reading more from her. But because that was 4th of July, we didn't get to do anything else besides sit on the streets of New York and wait until the fireworks started. And it was such a weird experience. It was not what I expected the fireworks show to be, and definitely not the view I expected to get either, but it was a really beautiful fireworks show. So that was kind of cool, and afterwards seeing how many people were walking around and trying to get back on the subways and stuff and get home was really, really cool. But that's the only bookstore we went to that day. So then we got to Friday, which was kind of our last day. We were going to fly home Saturday, and we ended up going to the #1 recommended bookstore in all of every single reel and TikTok I ever watched. The Strand was recommended the highest. It was more than Rip Bodice, more than Sweet Pickles. We heard about the Strand everywhere, and it was so good. I know people say that it's like a tourist trap, that you don't need to go there, you can skip it because there's other cute bookstores, but it was just so cool. There were so many people in there, and there were so many books, just like floor to ceiling, and these bookshelves were so tall and had every single book that you could think of. And I could have spent hours in there, and I was really going back and forth, shelf to shelf, display to display, trying to figure out what I was going to buy, because I didn't want to have to carry like 20 books that day, because at this point we had been walking so much every day, our backs were hurting because we were carrying so many books, and I just wanted to limit myself. And then I walked over to the romance section and saw that they had basically every Ice Planet Barbarian book, and I thought I only owned 2 of them, and I kept trying to look through my Goodreads and figure out which ones that I owned, and I found a list that I had put in my notes app where I had listed the Ice Planet Barbarian books I still needed to buy, but it must have been incorrect because I accidentally bought 2 that I had already purchased. So I bought these 4 Ice Planet Barbarian book: Barbarian's Prize, Barbarian's Mate, Barbarian Lover, and Barbarian Mine. And I had already purchased these 2. So I think I am going to donate these 2 to the library. And these were the 2 that I do not own, and I think there's 1 more that I do not own, but I just think that these covers are really cute, and I have read 7 of the books in this series, and I would like to collect them because I just think they're unironically good. Okay. I think they're fun, but I was a little bummed that I wasted 2 book slots with 2 books that I already own, but it is what it is. But I love the Strand. It was so much fun. I could have spent so much money there, but I did reel it in because we had 1 more bookstore to go to after, and that was one that I was honestly maybe second most excited for, which was Housing Works, which is where Taylor Swift filmed the All Too Well music video at the very end of it. I thought it was just going to be so incredible. I thought there was going to be so many books based on the way that All Too Well looks. It looked like there should have been 2 stories of books and these spiral staircases, and I was honestly very disappointed in this bookstore. It had this teeny tiny fiction section, and the upstairs was closed, and then there was a lot of like political self-help books and other non-fictions and such, so it just wasn't really something I was super excited about. I walked around and around and around the store trying to find 1 thing to get, and then I decided, okay, I'm just gonna get a sticker. But thankfully, at the very front of the store, I did notice that they had Know My Name by Chanel Miller, and this is one that I have been wanting to read. It's been on my nonfiction list that I keep, and I just hadn't seen it anywhere. I don't think I saw it at the used bookstore by my house before, so I finally decided to grab this one. I know that it's going to be absolutely heartbreaking, but I was very glad that I could get at least a book from every single bookstore that we went into, and this was one that is on my want to read. So I did at least get a book from the All Too Well bookstore, but it was not Taylor Swift theme at all, and it didn't have a lot of options, and so I was a little bit bummed by that. And I was kind of sad and trying not to express it to my mom and my aunt that that was kind of like the note that we were ending our trip on, but then they were also kind of disappointed in it too. So we ended up trying to find any other bookstores that were kind of around our hotel, since we did have to leave in the morning. And I remembered that my friend Jenny recommended going to Books Are Magic, and it was within a 15-minute walk from our hotel. So we decided to do that. Right after we woke up and got ready to get to the airport, we decided to head out to that bookstore first because we had a couple hours to kill, and we walked over to Books Are Magic, and it was so cute. It was just so cute. The front of it looked like very comic-esque to me. I don't know, it felt very superhero-like to me. But the people working there were very nice, very, very helpful, and I had a hard time picking what I wanted to get too, because they had a lot of good options, a really good romance section too. And I ended up going with 2 books I hadn't read. I got The Prospects by Katie Hoffman. I had just seen Nat recently read this and say that it was good, and I had actually just gotten the audiobook off of Libby, so I figured that this would be a good one to get, and it is signed by the author, which is very cool. And I also got one by Ashley Poston, a novel love story. I had been seeing this at other stores, but they only had it in hardcover, and I am a romance should only be in paperback kind of girl, so I was glad to find this in paperback, and I literally just finished it today, and it was so good. I really liked it. But yeah, those were all of the books that I bought in New York City. And let me tell you, my carry-on was so heavy that when Delta offered to let us check our carry-ons, I took that very fast. I just basically ran up to them and said, yes, please take this, because I do not want to put that over my head. But as I said, when I got back, I had some books from friends. So one of my friends, Ash, they got me The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields, and this is one that I have recently started hearing people talk about and say that it is super duper cute. I have literally no idea what it's about, but Ash said Paige needs to have, and I trust them very much with my book recommendation. So I'm very excited to get to this one. I have requested it on Libby, but it's gonna take a while to get to me. So anyway, I have other books I can read, like these ones. Brandy Lynn got me The Darkness Outside of Us by Elliot Schrefer. It looks like it should be Schaefer, but it's not. But I have been wanting to read this one for a long time. It is like a queer love story, but in space, and I think that it's just gonna be super duper cute. And it's literally been on my want to read for years now at this point. I should have just bought it for myself a while ago, but thank you, Randy Lynn, for getting this for me. And then Nat sent me The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I have read this one, and I really wanted a copy of it, so I'm so grateful that she got this for me, because Ashley Poston is just slowly becoming my second favorite romance author. Emily Henry is going to take spot number 1, but Ashley Poston is definitely like neck and neck with Emily Henry. So thank you, Nat, for getting me that one. I'm so excited. Then Irving got me Destroy the Day by Bridget Kemmerer, which is one that I recently just read, but I didn't own the third one, and I owned the first 2, and I wanted them all on my shelf together because I do really like the series. This last book wasn't the best of the series. It kind of fizzled out a little bit for me, but I still really like the series overall. It's just a really fun time. And he also got me Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonin Young. I did read this one a couple months ago, loved it so much, and this is one that I did buy for myself, a ripped bodice, but my aunt bought off of me because I saw that Irving was sending it to me. So super grateful to have this one on my shelf, because this book was so good. It is so good. If I could recommend you a romance book, read this one. Read this one. But you have to like accidental pregnancy, because that's kind of the whole trope. So if you don't like that, don't read this one. But if you do, read this one. And then to match this book, I had to buy myself Next of Kin and Next to You by Hannah Bonin Young. These are 2 that I have not read yet, and they are not in the same series, but it's by the same author, and I've heard good things about both of these. So very excited to have these. And that is all for my book haul. There are so many books here, and I'm realizing now that my goal of getting my TBR to be under 40 by the end of the year is not looking so promising. So I really need to start reading more, and I'm honestly debating doing a YouTube short series of trying to read as many books on the shelf as possible, like a book a day if I can, until I can get this shelf to be a more manageable number, because this is a lot. This is a lot. But I am super duper grateful for everyone who sent me books. Thank you, Irving. Thank you, Nat. Thank you, Randy Lynn. Thank you, Ash. And thank you to my mom and my aunt for going with me on this trip. It was so much fun. Just so much fun, even if it was so hot and steamy and sweaty and disgusting some days, especially in the subways. But I had so much fun. I highly recommend going to so many of these bookstores. Rip Bodice is a #1. The Strand, really loved it. Sweet Pickle Books, really loved it. The only one I would say I would skip out on is Housing Works, but if you have different reading tastes than I do, then maybe Housing Works would work for you. But yeah, I'm just so happy. It was such a good birthday. I think that I'm going to end this here. Look out for my next video, which should have all of my B-roll clips. Who knows how I'm going to string it together, but my whole trip and everything that I got to see. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one, which should hopefully be out very shortly. But yeah, goodbye. I think I was blurry that entire time. Cool. Kill.